today's speaker and guest have joined the session. I welcome all of you. And actually, I am in travel, so I hand over the mic to Mr. Chandramauli Yadav, National Secretary, for proceed the program.
धन्यवाद सर। सभी को नमस्कार। नस्या की आयुर्वाणी की श्रृंखला में आपका स्वागत है। आज के कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करने से पहले मैं हमारी मुख्य अतिथि वैद्य प्रीति छाबड़ा मैम से अनुमति चाहूंगा।
सभी को नमस्कार। चंद्रमौली जी नमस्कार। एंड आयुर्वाणी में जुड़े सभी सदस्यों को मेरा करगद्ध प्रणाम। आप स्टार्ट कीजिए चंद्रमौली जी, प्लीज गो अहेड।
जी धन्यवाद मैम। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाने से पहले मैं वैद्य जागृति सुरीति से अनुरोध करूंगा कि कृपया धन्वंतरी वंदना कर कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें।
सभी गुरुजनों को मेरा प्रणाम। मैं डॉक्टर जागृति कुमारी, पीजी स्कॉलर अगरसेंट हूँ। आज के आयुर्वाणी प्रोग्राम में धन्वंतरी वंदना प्रस्तुत कर रही हूँ। नमामि धन्वन्तरि मादिदेवं सुरासुरैवन्दित पादपद्मं लोके जरारुग्भयनीत्युनाशं धातारिमीशं दिविदाशदीनां सभ्यों वातावनिवारिवहनि पंच प्रपंचात्मक देह भाजम संताप संतात जरज्वरंतकं नमामि धन्वन्तरि मादिदेवं नवीन नीलमुदकान्तिकान्तं कान्तं हरर्द्वादशनाख्यमूर्तिं पूर्ति सतानं मनोरथानां नमामि धन्वन्तरि मादिदेवं नमामि धन्वन्तरि मादिदेवं।
धन्यवाद वैद्य जागृति सूरी जी। कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं आज के जो हमारे मुख्य अतिथि हैं उनसे आप सभी का परिचय करा देता हूं। उसके पूर्व मैं नस्या का एक छोटा सा संक्षिप्त परिचय दे देता हूं, क्योंकि आप सभी को विदित है कि नस्या विज्ञान भारती के द्वारा तीसरे वर्ल्ड आयुर्वेद कांग्रेस 2008 में बनाया हुआ है आयुर्वेद छात्र एवं वैद्यों का संगठन है, जो वर्तमान में 22 से अधिक राज्यों में सक्रिय है तथा 5000 से अधिक पंजीकृत आजीवन जीवन सदस्यों के साथ अपना स्थान रखता है। आयुर्वेद के विद्वानों के मौजूदा मानकों के उत्थान को लक्षित करने वाली गतिविधियों को जारी रखते हुए नस्या अपने आयुर्वेद ब्रिगेड की ऊर्जा को निरंतर सेवा और रोग मुक्त राष्ट्र बनाने के विशेष योगदान में कार्यरत है, जिसका अंततः लक्ष्य है देश के चिकित्सा के बोझ को आयुर्वेद की मदद से कम करना एवं एक स्वस्थ भारत का निर्माण करना। नस्या ने अपनी यात्रा के दौरान विभिन्न मानक रिकॉर्ड बनाए हैं तथा आयुर्वेद के पुनर्जागरीकरण के लिए आयुर्वेद की निष्क्रियता को कम करने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दिया है। नस्या ने अपने अथक प्रयासों और अनोखे विचारों के साथ आयुर्वेद के प्रति जागरूकता पैदा करने, आयुर्वेद छात्र एवं युवाओं में आयुर्वेद की प्रति रुचि पैदा करने और आयुर्वेद के समुदाय के बीच आत्मविश्वास को जगाने में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। नस्या के इस कार्यक्रम में प्रयासों में आयुष मंत्रालय, CCRS, CCIN के द्वारा भी समर्थन दिया गया है तथा भारत के बड़े बड़े संगठन जैसे NIA, ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ आयुर्वेदा आदि के साथ मिलकर राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय लेवल की सेमिनार, कार्यशालाएं, सम्मेलन, मेगा इवेंट और इसके साथ साथ युवा महोत्सव तथा क्रीड़ा महोत्सव के स्वरूप में अनोखे कार्यक्रम कर इतिहास बनाते हुए एक नई आयुर्वेद में शिक्षा पद्धति की धारणा गठित की है। मैं कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आज के हमारे जो मुख्य अतिथि हैं आदरणीय वैद्य प्रीति छाबड़ा जी मैम, उनका स्वागत करता हूं। मैम आपका स्वागत है।
धन्यवाद चंद्रमौली जी, और आपने बहुत अच्छी रूपरेखा प्रस्तुत की कि नस्या किस किस लेवल पे क्या क्या काम कर रहा है। और इस रिनायसा एज में जो आयुर्वेद का एक स्वर्णिम काल है, उसमें नस्या का एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, क्योंकि नस्या एक ऐसी संस्था है जिसने जो आयुर्वेद से जुड़े यूथ है, जो यूथ यंग डॉक्टर्स हैं या बडिंग डॉक्टर्स हैं या स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनका एक मार्गदर्शन और उनका एक दिशा निर्धारण इतने सुंदर सुचारू रूप से किया कि आज नॉर्थन इंडिया में, जहां से मैं प्रैक्टिस करती हूँ दिल्ली में पिछले 33 ईयर्स से, पहले यहाँ के ग्रेजुएट्स कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं थे और वो हमेशा ऐसा था कि 80% लोग एलोपैथी प्रैक्टिस करते थे। पर आज अगर हम देखें तो हर डॉक्टर, हर नया जो बडिंग प्रैक्टिशनर है या रिसर्चर है या फिर एकेडमिशियन है, वो उसका आयुर्वेद के प्रति रुझान और उसकी आयुर्वेद के प्रति निष्ठा इतनी अच्छी हो गई है। एंड ऑल थैंक्स टू आवर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी, जिन्होंने एक वो युग निर्माता तो है ही, पर आयुर्वेद के उत्थान में उनका भी एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, जिसका हम सब फल रोजाना देख रहे हैं, चख रहे हैं और उसे महसूस कर रहे हैं। आयुर्वाणी एक इतना अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म जो सजाया गया है नस्या की टीम के द्वारा, एंड हम सब जानते हैं कि कोविड के बाद के टाइम पीरियड में बहुत सारे जो है डोर्स ओपन हुए हैं ऑनलाइन लर्निंग के। लर्निंग एक किसी भी डॉक्टर के लिए, किसी भी वैद्य के लिए एक ऑनगोइंग प्रोसेस है, एंड इट इज राइटली सेड, द डॉक्टर हु सीजेस टू लर्न सीजेस टू बी अ डॉक्टर। तो अगर आपको अपनी अपडेटिंग नहीं होगी नॉलेज की, अपग्रेडिंग नहीं होगी नॉलेज की, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो लैकिना कहीं ना कहीं आपके करियर में, आपकी प्रैक्टिस में वो रिफ्लेक्ट होता है। एंड फिर से एक बार रमन, रंजन जी और चंद्रमौली जी बधाई के पात्र हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने देश के विभिन्न चिकित्सक रत्नों को जिस तरह से चुन चुन के और एक माला में पिरो रहे हैं, और जिस तरह से ये चिकित्सक रत्न अपना ज्ञान साझा कर रहे हैं, ज्ञान दान दे रहे हैं और इस प्रक्रिया को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं इस ऑनलाइन मोड के द्वारा, वह सराहनीय है। और हम सब जो हैं चंद्रमौली जी और रमन रंजन जी को धन्यवाद देते हैं मिलकर कि इतना अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म इन्होंने क्रिएट किया, और उसको हर मास 3rd सैटरडे को हम वेट करते हैं कि कब आयुर्वाणी का प्रोग्राम हो और कब हम अपना जो ज्ञान है उसकी परिकाष्ठा को नेक्स्ट लेवल तक, उसकी सीमा को बढ़ाते हुए आगे लेके जाएं। इसी के साथ मैं इनवाइट करना चाहूंगी, अगर चंद्रमौली जी, रमन रंजन जी इजाजत दे, तो आज के हमारे जो वक्ता हैं वो कोट्टकल से हैं, डॉक्टर बेनिल पीबी, और जो कि एक बहुत यूनिक टॉपिक पे हम सबसे बात करना चाहेंगे, जो कि आयुर्वेद का एक बहुत क्या बोले स्ट्रेंथ है कि विष चिकित्सा, और उस पर जो स्नेक बाइट है वो उस टॉपिक को लेने वाले हैं, और किस तरह से हम केवल आयुर्वेद चिकित्सा द्वारा इस चीज को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, उस पर आज चर्चा करेंगे। और इसी के साथ आई ले द सेशन ओपन, एंड once again many congratulations to the dynamic team of NASYA for bringing forward this unique concept and taking it forward time and again. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैम आपका और आप सभी का। और चूंकि ये हम दोनों का ही प्रयास नहीं, पूरे नस्या टीम का ही प्रयास है, और मूल रूप से मैं अगर कहूँ तो ये सोच और विजन है आप सभी का और मुख्यतः रमन सर का। हम तो सिर्फ इसमें एक कार्यकर्ता के रूप में हैं जो कार्य को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं। मैं क्षमा चाहूँगा कि मैं आपका इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं कर पाया। वैद्य प्रीति छाबड़ा मैम जो हैं दिल्ली में 32 वर्षों से चिकित्सा कार्य कर रही हैं, जिनका स्पेशलिटी है मुख्य रूप से पंचकर्म थेरेपी, आयुर्वेदा गायनेकोलॉजी, अग्निकर्म, जलौकावचरण। वो सबसे दिल्ली के वैद्यों में, संपूर्ण दिल्ली के वैद्यों में ऐसी प्रथम वैद्य और प्रथम महिला वैद्य हैं जिन्होंने दिल्ली में स्वर्ण प्राशन को चालू किया है। मैडम वर्तमान में अपनी सर्विस जो है श्री गंगाराम हॉस्पिटल राजेंद्र नगर में डायरेक्टर सीनियर कंसल्टेंट के रूप में दे रही हैं और डायरेक्टर सीनियर कंसल्टेंट है श्री कृष्णा सुपर स्पेशलिटी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ आयुर्वेदा जनकपुरी न्यू दिल्ली में, और विजिटिंग कंसल्टेंट है अपोलो आयुर्वेद नेहरू एनक्लेव न्यू दिल्ली में। वो वर्तमान में चिकित्सक गुरु भी है राष्ट्रीय आयुर्वेद विद्यापीठ की, और अपने मतलब छत्र छाया में बहुत से उन्होंने आरएवी के शिष्यों को जन्म दिया है, जो वर्तमान में उनके ज्ञान को प्राप्त कर बहुत अच्छे वैद्य बनकर अच्छे प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। और वह अभी तक मैम जो है आयुर्वेदिक फिजिशियन में, मैम ने मतलब नस्या जो है नेशनल आयुर्वेद स्टूडेंट एंड यूथ एसोसिएशन की संरक्षक भी हैं, और जितना उन्होंने बखान किया नस्या का कि नस्या आज यहाँ तक पहुंचा है, उसमें एक मूल कारण मैडम भी है। साथ ही मैं इस कड़ी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आज के हमारे जो मुख्य वक्ता है आदरणीय वैद्य बेनिल पीबी सर, उनका स्वागत करना चाहूंगा। सर, आज के कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत है।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
सर का मैं परिचय दे देता हूँ। सर जो वर्तमान में वैद्य रत्नम पीएस वरिया आयुर्वेदा कॉलेज कोट्टकल में केरला में प्रोफेसर हैं अगत तंत्र विधि वैद्यक विभाग में। वो चेयरमैन है एक्सपर्ट कमेटी के, जो भी अभी एमडी अगत तंत्र में एनसीआईएसएम के करिकुलम में जो नए सिलेबस ऐड हुआ है उसका। पैनल ऑफ एक्सपर्ट के मेंबर हैं वाइस चांसलर गोवा यूनिवर्सिटी के, साइंटिफिक एडवाइजरी कमेटी हैं नेशनल आयुष मिशन केरला के, बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज पीजी मेडिकल केरला यूनिवर्सिटी हेल्थ साइंस, स्क्रीनिंग एंड इवोल्यूशन कमेटी के हैं वीपीएसवी आयुर्वेदा कॉलेज कोट्टकल, और साथ ही विभिन्न 23 से 24 प्रकार के जो राष्ट्रीय अंतरराष्ट्रीय सरकारी संस्थाएं हैं जो शिक्षा आयुष शिक्षा विभाग में जो चल रही हैं, सर उनके मेंबर एडवाइजर हैं। सर ने अपने जीवन काल में विभिन्न अवार्ड जो है चिकित्सा क्षेत्र में, अगत तंत्र के चिकित्सा क्षेत्र में सर को दिया गया है, सर को मिला है, और संपूर्ण भारत में इकलौते ऐसे ट्रेडिशनल आयुर्वेद चिकित्सक आयुर्वेद वैद्य हैं जो स्नेक बाइट की मैनेजमेंट करते हैं। सर, आज के कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत है।
थैंक यू।
प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
I will share my presentation. I think my slides are visible.
Yes, sir, visible है।
Okay, and I am audible to you.
जी सर, जी सर।
Okay. So the topic that has been assigned to me is folklore traditions in Snakebite, with a special reference to Kerala Vishachikitsa. And on the onset of this presentation, I would like to convey my gratitude to the NASYA and the Ayurvani team for organizing such a wonderful program. And it has been, to my knowledge, I knew that it has been going on since very long after the COVID period. It's regularly being taken up. Congratulations to the team for that. Okay. So I'm straight away going to my presentation. So a hearty welcome to our institute, Vaidyaratnam PS Ayurveda College, Kottakal, and paying my respect to the great visionary, our founder of Ayurveda Shala, Vaidyaratnam PS Ayurveda. And this is Lord Parashurama. And there is a story, a mythological story related to origin of Kerala. Okay? Actually, Kerala is a coastal state because a long area of the coast, the western coast, is actually completely seashore. And why this happened was that when during the Puranic period, when the Brahmanas were actually devoid of land, they all came to Lord Parashurama crying, saying that they don't have land for cultivation and for their daily living. So Parashurama took his axe, as you see in the picture, and he threw the axe from one end to the other. Okay? And in that area where the axe fell on the ground, the ocean retreated, and a landmass came up. Okay, and this landmass is known as Kerala. Later came to be known as Kerala. Okay, so on the eastern side we have the Sahyadri, the mountain, the Western Ghats, and on the west shore we have the ocean, the Arabian Sea. So it is a narrow strip of land. And what happened was that soon after the formation of Kerala, this new land, is actually formed due to the receding of the ocean. So the soil was full of saline material. So, due to the salinity, the soil was not fertile. So when the people in this area could not form their a livelihood, they could not create a livelihood out of this land because they could not cultivate or do any agricultural practices due to the excess salinity of the soil. So they again went crying to Lord Parashurama and said that, you gave us land, we are thankful for that, but we cannot do anything with this land because it is, not at all fertile. We cannot do any agricultural practices, and it is a barren land. So again, Parashurama, after hearing their plea, he said that, okay, then we will make it fertile. And we will make it fertile by bringing the serpents or the nagas from the Patala, and they will come and they will eat the saline, in the salinity in the soil, and will make it fertile. And likewise, he called out the nagas from the snakes from the Patala, and the Patala, the snakes came out. And the mythology says that, the snakes are always putting their tongue out. It is to collect the saline, the salt from the soil, and they engulf it. And their venom, they fell down onto the soil, and that make it fertile. So after this story, it says that, after this, the process of bringing out all the serpents from the Patala, our land the Kerala became very fertile, and it was filled with very dense rainforest. And along with that, all these snakes started to living in that forest. So we know that the Kerala is very famous for, I would say, was famous for, but now the forest cover is actually declining. But still, the Western Ghats is actually a very treasure hunt for many medicinal plants and many of the fauna that we see in our country. So all these fauna, flora, and especially the snakes actually dwelled peacefully in the forest, the thick forest in the Kerala, throughout Kerala. Now what happens is, as the time went on, the human population started to increase. So as the human population grew, the encounters with the snake also grew. And due to that, many fatalities started to occur due to snake bite. Now this again became a problem. So what happened was that, there was a tradition in Kerala where a part of the land in a area will be exclusively devoted for snakes. Anybody will not go there. It is kept as sacred, and all the snakes will dwell there, and they do some puja and all over there, and they are called as Sarpa Kava. Okay? Sarpa means snake, and Kava means forest, small forest. So Sarpa Kava or the sacred groves were actually developed as a fear factor to snakes, and actually came out as a method to pacify the snakes by offering them pujas and other things. Okay, so in many traditional families, even in the present day, we can find that that traditional families have a sacred grove in their backyard where there will be huge trees and plants will be growing, and nobody will never touch that area. They are very, very sacred. Okay, so this tradition go on. But Along with that, so this is the deities of snake that have been actually grown in or put in snake grove or Sarpakal. Okay, so along with that, many treatments, the local Vaidyas in that area started to think about, how to cure this snake bite and how we can actually cure this envenomation from snakes. So they also started researching on this area and utilizing the herbs that are present in those areas. They came out with many works, particularly related to Vishachikitsa only. So that is why Kerala is very famous for Vishachikitsa, because it is not only Vishachikitsa, it is a practically oriented Vishachikitsa. Not that we can see Vishachikitsa in our Samhita also, but apart from that, what is important in Kerala Vishachikitsa is that it is more clinically oriented and practically oriented. So with that, there are two important families in Kerala which actually had temple actually devoted to Nagas, and they also had certain treatment procedures for snake bite also. So one among them is in the southern Kerala, which is known as the Mannarashala temple, which is very famous for all types of incurable diseases, especially incurable skin diseases, very chronic diseases. They will come and give offerings, and they believe that by taking the prasada from that particular temple will cure them. Okay, so this is one important institute that are actually developed in India. This is actually a mythological one. The second one is the Pambu Mekatamana. This is on the northern side of Kerala, and they are also having the Sarparadhana. So okay, many such examples are there. You might be knowing that the famous cricketer Ravi Shastri usually visited Pambu Mekatamana for many years. So, based on the development of the new knowledge in Vishachikitsa, they say that there are 7 authentic texts a Vishavaidya should invariably learn. And these 7 texts are Vishanarayaniyam, Uddisha, Ulpala, Arameghala, Lakshanamrita, Kalavanchana, and Ashtanga-hridaya. Ashtanga-hridaya is still available. But among these 7 texts, many of them are now we are not having any copy of it. In some, we have some references related to them. So, Arameghala, Vishanarayaniya, Lakshanamrita are available today. But Uddisha and Utpala, some parts of that particular palm leaves are now available, but the entire one is not available. So, among these 7 texts, Ashtanga-hridaya, Lakshanamrita, Aharameghala, and Vishanarayaniya, these four only are available. Okay. Now, among these, even though these 7 texts were actually advocated as an authentic text for Vishachikitsa, but the popularity of Vishachikitsa in Kerala is actually advocated by one important personality known as the Avana Paramba Maheshwara Nambripal. He is no more now, but still his teaching is actually he's the one who devised in a very scientific aspect based upon this the mentioning what is mentioned in our Samhita, and also incorporated what is mentioned in Kerala Vishachikitsa, and he incorporated them both and made a very practically oriented treatment plan for snake bite management. So he was one important one. And now what we have, why the Vimala Antarjanam is the only the old generation, only Vaidya of the old generation is still alive. And she's also had a very good experience regarding snake bite management. And she's from the Thrissur district, Ullanur. And many of the students Agatantra students are actually visiting her to get knowledge about snake bite management and all. She's very down to earth, and anybody can approach her at any time. Okay? So these are the 2 important personalities that in the modern times devised the snake bite treatment in Kerala. Okay, so from the 7 texts that we mentioned earlier, the most recent one is what is known as the Prayoga Samuchaya, which is actually being written taking all the practically oriented aspects from the 7 texts that we are available today. So this is actually just like a handbook or a pocket book of or snakebite management, or Kerala Visha Chikitsa, actually we can call it. So it is all, if you read that book, you can see that the many symptoms will be there. Okay, so for example, a person might have a jaundice feature after a snake bite. Now, what should be given? So there is a symptomatology that is being described. Immediately, he will say that, for this, you do this particular treatment. You take these 2 herbs and, mix it and give it in water. Like that, he will say. So this is actually a very practically oriented one. Okay. So the Prayoga Samuchaya is actually written by Kochunni Thampuran, who was a king of the Kochi dynasty. And he was very keen in Visha Chikitsa, that he learned it for his entire life. He dedicated his entire life for Visha Chikitsa. And if you know that one of the Ayurveda colleges in Kerala, the government Ayurveda college, Tripura, one hospital complex is actually donated by that land for that particular hospital was donated by the king, okay, who wrote this particular book. Okay. And it is said that Prayoga Samuchaya is actually an abridged form of an earlier work known as the Vishwavaidya Jyotsnika. So Vishwavaidya Jyotsnika is considered to be the most elaborate one. From that elaborate text, only practically oriented ones were actually compiled by the king and made it to Prayoga Samuchaya. And it is also believed that Vishwavaidya Jyotsnika is also a later work which was actually originated from another Malayalam, Tamil, Manipravala text. That is, it is actually a mix of Malayalam and Tamil, and it is known as Two Vanilla. Okay. Now, why it is considered to be all these texts to be similar is that, Two Vanilla, the word meaning is moonlight, Two Vanilla. Okay? And Jyotsnika is also means moonlight. So the similarity in the names itself points that, that they have a similar lineage that made the origin to them. Okay, so this is all about the development of Visha Chikitsa in Kerala. Now we come to some of the salient features of Kerala Visha Chikitsa. What are the important aspects regarding the Kerala Visha Chikitsa that we do not see in an elaborated form in any of our Samhita? The first one is the Duta Lakshana, or how from the Duta, in Kerala, there are many stories, there are many folklores that are famous about many Vishwavaidyas. And, many of these have even become part of many films in Malayalam. But it is that, the Vishwavaidyas were considered to be very respectful in the society because they had several magical powers. They used to believe, So a Vishwavaidya, while he wake up in the morning, he will look into the atmosphere and he will say that, that today I am not going anywhere from my house because today one bite case will come. And why he says that, he is on some of the omens that he sees, and all these are actually described in these texts. Okay, so that day, even if it is very urgent, the Vaidya will not go out of the house because he is expecting a snake bite case which needs to be treated. That is how the snake bite healers in Kerala were respected in most of the families because they had some magical power. And all these magical powers is actually being described in the text as Duta Lakshana only. Okay? So the entire features of our Kerala Visha Chikitsa can be classified under these 3 headings. One is the protection. Second one is the special treatment procedures. And third one, I will be concentrating on some of the special formulations used in Kerala Visha Chikitsa. So, Duta Lakshana, there are many methods to describe about what are the auspicious and inauspicious omens when a particular snake bite. In earlier times, we do not had any phones or smartphones or cell phones to call the physician and say that there had been a snake bite. So earlier, a Duta will come, okay, from the place where the snake bite has occurred, and he will run to the Vaidya's home, and he will say to the Vaidya that, a snake bite had occurred, you have to come fast. Like that he will say. So the Vaidya will ask some questions to this person, and if he knows that, he will give some medicines and, go and give it to them. By the time I will reach there, and I will do the rest. Okay. So how the Vaidya determined that whether it was a poisonous snake or non-poisonous snake is on a simple test, which is known as we count the total number of words spoken by the person, by the Duda, and we divide it by 3. And what the remainder of words, or the remainder is obtained, based on that, we will decide on which snake bite has occurred. Suppose if the Duda is coming and telling that Ramu has been bitten by a snake. Okay, I'm just saying it as an example only. Ramu has been bitten by a snake. Okay, so there are 7 words. Okay, so the 7 words, 7 will be divided by 3. So we know that 3 2s are 3 times 2 is 6. So again, we get a 1 as a remainder. So the bitten snake here is Darvikara. Okay, this is how they used to they give the signal. So they will say that, so immediately you have to immobilize the patient and you give the medicines, and I will reach immediately and I will give the rest of the medicine. So this is how they came up to the omen. And it is said that many cases, these auspicious and inauspicious omens based on the Buddha Lakshana used to be very correct. Okay, so if it is the remainder is 1, we call it as Darvigara. If it is 2, then it is Mandali. If it is 3, it is Rajila. And if it is 4, they say that it is Vendira. And if there is no reminder, then we say that it is Nirvisha. Okay. So this is how, there are many other methods. I am just telling only the one method because, due to the time plan. The next important aspect regarding the Kerala Vishachikitsa is the concept of 2 terminologies. One is the Amrita Kala and Vishakala. Okay. Now we have learned about the Ida and Pingala Nadis in our yoga. Okay. And you know that when Kundalini Shakti is actually provoked, there is stimulation of the Ida and Pingala. Okay. And we know that, in Indian tradition, we used to get a horoscope. Okay. And we all have a nakshatra in which we are born. Okay. So likewise, there are 27 nakshatras in which we are born. Okay. So there are different, the terminologies are different. In northern, the Panchanga, it is a different names are used. In the southern states, it has a different name. Okay. So each nakshatra is divided into Gadigas and Nadis, etc. Okay, there is a division of the time. Okay, so the 24-hour cycle in a day is actually subdivided into different Gadigas and all. So before that we have to deal with the Amrita Kala and Vishakala. So we said about the Ida and Pingala Nadis. Okay, so from the vertex of our head, okay, to our cheeks, to our chin, to our chest or the part of the heart, to our nipples, to the both side of our abdomen, our umbilicus, towards the leg, there are 14 points, 14 important points, which we call it as, on the right side of our body, we call it as Amrita Kala, and on the left side of our body, we call it as Vishakala. So 14 points are there on our body, which constitute Vishakala in the right side of our body, and Amrita Kala in the right side of our body, and Vishakala on the left side of the body. In females, it is said different. That is, on the right side is the Vishakala, and on the left side is the Amrita Kala. Okay. So when a poison occurs, or when a snake is bitten to a person, due to the lakshanas, we can assess that to which color the poison has risen or spread. So based on that, we will massage. Sorry for the disturbance because the heavy rain is happening here. and thunderbolts are also there. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so if the Visha is having a upper hand, then we will massage onto the Amrita Kala on the opposite side. So by that, Visha will be reduced. This is the concept. Okay, so if by wrong we are massaging on the Visha Kala, then the Visha will increase. So this is a concept. But many of the traditional Visha Vaidyas are now not using or depending on this method. Okay? Another important is known as the similarly, the Visha Gadiga and Amrita Gadiga. So as I said earlier, there are 27 nakshatras are there. In 27 nakshatras, there is a Visha Gadiga and Amrita Gadiga for each star. Okay. So in a day, so we say that today is a day of Kritika. There is a particular time in Kritika where there is an Amrita Gadiga is there and Visha Gadiga is there. So there are different types of Gadiga. One is known as the Ganda Anda, Visha Gadiga, Ushna Gadiga, and Amrita Gadiga. So if a bite occurs during Visha Gadiga, then the bite will always be fatter. It is believed that. Okay. If it is occurs in the Amrita Gadiga, then it says that it is curable. Okay. So the number that you see in any of all of these columns and all of these cells is actually the how many times or how many Gadigas that it will be staying. That is how many minutes each Gadiga is. So in Ashwini star, the 50th to 54th Gadiga is actually a Visha Gadiga. So if a bite occurs in that period, it is going to be fatter. Or from the 42nd to 46th Gadiga, it's the Amrita Gadiga. And if a bite occurs during that period, it is going to be very milder and easy to treat. Okay. This is the concept regarding that. Okay. So one Gadiga is 1/60th of a nakshatra. So for Ashwini, there are 1/60th. One Gadiga means 1/60th of that. So 50 such Gadigas are there for Visha Gadiga. Okay. Okay. Now another important aspect regarding this, we know that there are in our Samhita, we see many references regarding the Damsha Vedas. There are 1 bite mark, 2 bite marks, 3 bite marks, 4 bite marks, etc. And in Charaga and Ashtanga Sangraha, we can also see references of teeth. 2 in the upper jaw and 2 in the lower jaw. And based on the Bindu Pramana, we also say that, in each teeth or in each fan, there are this much Bindu of 1, 2, 3, and 4 Bindus of Visha like that. But in Vishabhadra Jyotsika, they have gone further by naming each of these fangs. So there are 4 fangs, and they have named as Karali, Makari, Kalaratri, and Yamadudika. So these are the 4 fangs which have been named in Vishabhadra Jyotsika. That description is not seen in any other text. Okay. Now coming to the specific treatment modalities, the first one that is used by majority of traditional Visha Vaidyas is what is known as Uttu Chikitsa. Uttu means blowing. And a similar reference we can see in our Samhita as Pudkara Chikitsa. Pudkara is also means blowing. That is chewing drugs in your mouth and then you blow the air through your mouth into various different parts of the body. So in Visha Chikitsa, Ut is mainly done on both the ears and on the vertex, as you see in the picture. Okay, we will see a short video demonstration after this. Okay, and sorry that the sloka is in Malayalam, so I will just say the essence of all this. So when is the Ut is to be done? Ut should be performed when the Visha is in the first 3 dhatu. We know that in Visha Chikitsa, the description of Visha action is actually meant according to the dhadus that are affected by the Visha. So based on that, when the Visha stays in the first 3 dhadus, that is the Rasa, or it is called the Charma in Malayalam Granthas, Charma, Rakta and Mamsa. When the Visha is in these 3 dhadus, we have to do OOP. Okay, and this OOP is actually done by we take 3 or 4 medicines and we will chew it in your mouth, and then we consecutively we blow it to the patient's both eardrums and also to the vertex. Okay, so the drugs used in this are the Vishwa, Dusparsha, Marija, and Vishavega. So we will understand each of these drugs. One is Vishwa, second is Dusparsha, third is Marija, and fourth one is Vishavega. Okay, so these 4 drugs will be taken in equal quantity, and 3 persons will chew it in their mouth, and then they will blow it simultaneously to both ears and to the vertex for 150 times at a stretch. Okay, and one person will be taking the count. So they will be blowing in unison. Okay. So these are the scientific names of the drugs. The Vishwa, as we all know, it is a singular official. Dusparsha is Tragia involucrata. Marija is Piper nigrum, and Vishavega is Aristolochia indica. Aristolochia indica is one drug which is extensively used in Carinavus indica because it is very potent antitoxic agent, and it also has some toxicity also, but still we are using in a large quantity in our. Okay, so these are the drugs. The picture of the drugs. Okay, the Aristolochia indica, Piper nigrum. It is our Marija. The Shundi is the singular official, and Dusparsha is Tragia involucrata. Okay, so now we will see a video demonstration of OOP being performed. It is only a demonstration. Okay, so these are the drugs that we take for. This is Ishwari for Vishavega. This is Shundi, and this is Dusparsha. Okay, all these drugs are taken by 3 people and they chew it. Okay, and the patient is lying down and she is unconscious. Okay, so there one person is actually taking the count, and they are in unison. They are blowing at the same time for 150 times on both ears and over the vertex. So this is the process of OOP. Okay. Okay, the blowing should be in uniform. That is the most important. Okay. Now, in a study, when in Kottakal Ayurvani, we used to perform OOP in many cases. So, whenever there is lethargy, the patient feels very heaviness of head, or he feels very much depressed. He used to do OOP, and soon after OOP, they used to feel better. Okay? And in their studies, they have also found that those who undergo OOP chikitsa, they will never develop any other respiratory complications in the future time. Because in snakebite treatment, what happens is that when we manage the acute phase, the patient will be all right. But as the patient is being discharged and sent to his home, he might develop some complications and come back. And among them, the respiratory distress is one of the most important things. They suddenly develop a dyspneic attack at the night, odd hours of night, and they might be brought to the hospital again. So, and that is it is very life-threatening situation. And this especially happens in crate bites. Okay? So, a person who has underwent OOP chikitsa will never develop such a complication. This is an observation that we have noted during our treatment. Okay, so next concept, one important concept, that is devised or described in Kerala Granthas is what is known as the Leela Jeevan. Okay? That is the Jeevan or the life is in a very subtle state. You know what we call it as in suspended animation like state. So the patient will not be showing any vital signs. So his vitals will be in a very feeble state that we cannot record it. In such instances, they have advocated using what is known as Karu Prayoga. Karu, as you see in this picture, this is a Karu. This is nothing but an alloy of mercury with other metals. Okay, and we know that in Rasya Shastra we have many descriptions of such different types of alloys of mercury, and they have been attributed with many medicinal properties. Okay, in Visha Chikitsa, these Karus are actually being inserted into the natural orifices of the patient. So when the patient is lying very unconscious and we cannot get any vital signs or pulse or any heartbeat or even any other movement, and we are about to certify him to be dead, before that we will do this Karaprayoga. So if any trace of life is present in this body, that will be stimulated or triggered, like that it is said. So Karaprayoga, different shapes and sizes are actually mentioned for males as well as for females for all the natural orifices. Okay, and they will be inserted soon after this Leela Jiva occurs, and this the medicinal property, due to the medicinal property of this the Karu, then the life will be triggered. So the life will be come out. There is a simile that is said in Kerala that when poison enters the body, the poison will be chasing our life or our organs. Okay, so or what is known as the life form. Okay, so the life will be chased by Visha. So the life will be going in front, and the poison will be coming back. Okay, so as all over the body, the life will be running for health. Okay, so if he cannot go and hide anywhere, because body in any part of the body can be invaded by the Visha also. So what happens, as he runs and on and on, at the final stage when he will be tired, and he will go and take refuge in an area in our brain which is known as Kurandaga. It is actually described as Kurandaga. We don't know what is the anatomical part of brain which can be equated with Kurandaga, but this is the place where life will go and hide. Okay, so that for some time, Visha may not be able to find life and kill him. Okay, so that so when the life goes and hide in the Kurandaga, the signs of life will be absent on the body. That is a principle that they have said that during that period, if you apply this Karu, the Karu will kill the poison, and we can regain the life from the Kurandaga. Okay, so this is a explanation that is given in text. Okay, and in modern times, Langali Mula is also used as a method for Leela Jiva. So, during, if the person is going into a coma condition or comatose condition, small pieces of Langali will be taken, Langali Mula will be taken, and that will be inserted onto the all natural orifices. This is being practiced by some of the religious groups in Kerala also. Okay. Now, another important aspect is what is known as the snake stones, which is considered to be a very wonderful treatment, is still being performed in many parts of Kerala. Even though not a widespread use, these what you see as the black one is known as the snake stones, or it is known as Vishakalla in Malayalam, and they are actually very absorbent material, just like our activated charcoal. Okay, and there are different materials actually mentioned for making snake stones, and one among them is known as the Mriga Sringa. Sringa that we study in among Jangama Dravyas is one of the medium for producing these snake stones. So what happens is that when a bite occurs, we will make an incision near to the bite side, and specifically it is said that the bite marks will be made on the palm of both hands and over the soles, and near the bite site also. We make an incision and we will make this stone to adhere onto that area. So when you keep it over that area, it will soon become adhered. Okay, when you just pull it, it will not come because it will be adhering. So if it is adhering, it means that there is visha in the body. Okay, and this material will draw the poison from our blood into this, and after some time it will naturally follow from our body. And we keep it back and we will boil it in water and keep it in milk. Then again we can use it. This is how we use the snake stone for treatment. And it is said that many Vaidyas have said that it is very effective in curing snake bites, but just by applying this only, snake stones only. Okay. Now in our Kerala Visha Chikitsa, there are certain references regarding Shigru's latex, Shigru's latex, deer horn, and whether it is equal to activated charcoal is something to be debated upon, because many of these people or Vishwavaidyas who make this, we keep it as a secret. They do not reveal how they make it. That is one important thing, the lacuna that we always face. Because for everybody to use, we don't have the technology how it is made. Okay, so there are mentioning in our text regarding the Shigru's. We make a opening in the Shigru's stem and we bore it, and we will keep some medicinal plant or medicated churnas in that, and we seal it. And after 6 months and all, if you just take it, and it will be covered with a greasy material like. A mass will be formed that can be used as a the snake stones. But we don't have any experience regarding that. But some people are still making this, and they are actually selling this at a very high cost. Okay, and this is we still doing that. Okay. Okay. Now next is one is the Tuku Dara. It is nothing but a dara. As you see in the Shiro Dara, just like a small Dara pot, which is actually being used for Dara on the bite side. So it is usually used for Vishaja Shobhas, and it has got the property of Stambhana. Visha is a Stambhana Sadhya Roga, as we know that. Stambhana is the treatment that is to be carried out in Visha. And whenever there is excessive burning sensation and all, Dara is, or Tuku Dara is something that is to be done. And many drugs are actually mentioned, and among that, Parandi is one, like Soracoxinia, or Parandi is the drug which is of very much importance in Kerala Visha Chikitsa regarding Vishaja Shobha as well as in Vishaja Branas. So this has been highly utilized in many formulations for this Vishaja Shobha. Okay. Now another important aspect regarding this Kerala Visha Chikitsa is what is known as the Vishahari Leha. Vishahari Leha is a preparation which is actually used to diagnose the snake bite, the snake. As we said in the Dudha Lakshana, we said that we count the numbers and we divide it by 3. Here, what we do is we make a leha out of some medicines and we give it to the patient to taste. And what that taste perceived by the patient will give the diagnosis of which snake has bitten. We all know that many of them when the systemic toxicity occurs, especially the neurotoxic poisons occurs like that of cobra or crate, there will be a condition known as the parageusia, that is an altered sensation or altered perception of taste. So we can equate it to that, but still the earlier Vishwavaidyas have given us some directions regarding how to diagnose a snake bite based on the taste perception of Vishahari Leha. So Vishahari Leha is actually prepared from a specific type of a cucurbitaceous fruit, which is called as atanga in Malayalam, and it is called Cucumis confiterum. Okay, and what you see in the picture is this particular. It is very endemically grown in some in the western Ghats of Kerala only, and this is usually we collect it from the Wayanad district. Usually it is grown there in a very good quantity, and we take the seeds of this particular fruit, we mix it with beetle juice, we mix it with Shuddha Parada and Gandhaga. Okay, so these are the ingredients. That is the bija of Cucumis pomiferarum, then this betel leaf juice or Tambula Sarasa, the Parada and Gandhaga, and all these are mixed with Nimbathaila. So this makes a leha like consistency will be formed, and this a very small amount of this particular leha will be given in betel leaf for chewing, and the patient will chew, and we will take the juice coming out of it, and he will perceive a taste, and that taste is actually noted down. Okay, so if the taste is kadurasa, if the patient identifies the taste of that particular leha as kadurasa, then it is identified as cobra. If it is amla rasa, then it is mandali. If it is madhura rasa, it is great. And if it is tikka rasa, this nirvisha. Tikka rasa is the natural taste of this leha because it is highly bitter. Because this nimbathaila along with this atanga, the seeds of atanga is very bitter. So this is the nirvisha gives the natural taste of that the leha, but the kadu, amla, and madhura are the taste for cobra, mandali, and tribe respectively. Okay. Now we will move on to some of the important formulations that are used or mentioned in the Jiva Raksha in our Kerala Visha Chikitsa Granthas, and one of them is what is known as the Jiva Raksha. It is a very big yoga. There are 3 to 4 yogas are there regarding Jiva Raksha. Different formats are there. It is not available in market, but in our department we have made it for specifically for treating snake bites only. So it is a multi-mineral preparation. Almost all the minerals are there. Talaga, Gandhaga, Tutta, Haritala, everything is there. Then it contains many vegetable poisons because it is being grinded in the Arka Kshira. So it is a very toxic one. And the importance of this Agada is that it is considered as the first line of management in snake bite. So once a snake bite patient approaches, he will be given 1 Jiva Raksha Agada in milk. Okay? And it is said that if it is being vomited by the patient, it means that the poisoning is very severe. Okay, then you can give it again 1 more tablet in milk after 20 minutes. So if that is again vomited, then again the prognosis becomes very bad. Now at a time we can give 3 tablets of Jiva Raksha Agada at a time. So you can give 3 tablets of Jiva Raksha Agada in milk in half an hour or 20 minutes intervals. If all the 3 gulikas or the agadas are actually being vomited by the patient, it means that it is going to be incurable. Okay, this is the usual belief by the snake bite Visha Chikitsas. And we have seen a case where even after vomiting 3 tablets of Jiva Raksha Agada, the patient survived. So it can happen. Okay? So this is only a textual reference that is being just highlighted here, but it is the general notion regarding the Vishavadya treatments or is that when this particular Agada is being continuously vomited by, then it is going to be incurable. Now another important one is known as the Karuna Bhaskaram Gurika, or this also a very important one because it is actually given in complications of viper bite. We know that viper bites or Mandali Visha are usually hematotoxic. Their action is mainly on the hematopoietic system or our blood, and we know that hemolysis is the rule, and this clotting mechanism will be hampered, and all natural orifices, blood will be coming, and even through the hair follicles. So in such cases, renal involvement is very important, very commonly seen in a viper bite, because all the byproducts coming out of the hemolysis have to be removed by our body systems and spleen, because there will be a heavy load for that, so that many of them will go and probe the glomerular apparatus and it will lead to, renal failures and all. So in that case, Taruna Bhaskara Agada is one which is of most useful. So in complications, renal complications in by this work, we actually indicate this one. And it contains Gorojana. Gorojana, as you all know that, it is actually the biliary calculi that we get from cow and all. And they are actually very costly and very rare to get. Okay, so for us during our medicine preparation, Ayurveda Kottakal had made us a lyophilized bile obtained from goat. Okay, from the slaughterhouse, we collected the bile gallbladders, and from that bile, we made it, we lyophilized that and we made it to a crystalline form, and that was used for making the Taruna Bhaskara Agada in our department. And we found that, it was very effective, but, we never had any experience of using Gorojana for that because it is very costly. So, but for us, for the treatment purpose, it served a very good purpose for us. So this is the two most important Agada yogas. The third one, it is not an yoga, but it is a group of 10 flowers. Usually, they are known as the Deshapushpa. So, Deshapushpa is actually during the monsoon time. They will grow in abundance in all over Kerala. And they will be utilized for all types of diseases, especially the infective diseases. So, Kerala is very famous for heavy monsoons, as we all know that. And during that heavy monsoons, many seasonal diseases will come. You know that, recently, if you look at the papers, you can see that, almost all the diseases reported in the world are now reported in Kerala also, because it comes due to our, cultural linkages of our people, because many of our people are actually working outside Kerala. So, it is very easy to get such infections and all. So, Kerala, any disease that is, Zika virus or any Nipah, everything, when it is reported, it will also be reporting in Kerala also. So, it is said that, why it is happening is that, we have actually deviated very much from our traditional habits. There is one saying is that, during the monsoon hours, there is a tradition in Kerala, which is known as the Aushadha Kani, that is the Peya. Okay. The Peya Kalpana that is actually being performed during this monsoon season is actually incorporating many medicinal herbs. And, what we do is we will cook the rice in Kashaya, and that is being continuously taken for 1 month, for one complete month. That is for the monsoon period. We call it as Karkadaga. So that is why we call it as Karkadaga Chikitsa. Karkadaga month is actually considered to be very inauspicious because we don't do any good things, or marriage or namakarana, anything will not be done during that month because it is considered inauspicious because almost, the entire state in earlier times, it is a time for famine because due to heavy rain, nobody could go out for work. And the agriculture will also be stopped because, due to this heavy rain, nothing will grow. So, all families will be in famine. Okay, so in that time, the landlords will serve with his servants with this Aushadha Peya by incorporating. So, what we use is the swarasa of these 10 plants will be utilized for cooking this Peya, and this Peya will be taken without any other adjuvants. We don't use any pickle or anything. It is taken as such because it will be bitter, but it provides the necessary immunity for that. So, Aushadha Peyas are actually now many institutions are coming up with these treatment packages during monsoon because they provide you with a very good immunity and all. Okay? So, and all the it is not only for this Aushadha Seva or Aushadha Peya that we are using Deshapushpa. It is even used for all the hair decorations for women. It is said that many of these drugs are having Yuga Vinashana property, Yuga Liksha Vinashana property. So they will get rid of all the lysis from your head. And also in menstrual irregularities in women, also this Deshapushpa is being actually advocated. So in all the temples during this monsoon period, these flowers or these herbs are actually being used in a larger quantity as offerings and all. So in one way or the other, the people will go to the temple and consume this, so that these medicines will be going into their body, and they are all getting, as a community medical practice, it is being practiced in Kerala. Apart from the Aushadha Peya. Okay, so this is Dashapushpa. It is very wonderful because all the drugs are being now investigated for their immunomodulator activity. And it is said that all the 10 drugs are having very, very good. And they are all herbaceous. They are annuals only. They will only grow in robust condition during the monsoon period only because they need plenty of water. Okay. Now some other important formulations that we use the Pankti Prasunadi Grita, which is actually utilizing Pankti Prasuna is actually, there is a song regarding Dashapushpa. Dashapushpa is actually being taught as many folk songs. In different parts of Kerala, there are different types of folk songs are there. In the southern part, in the central part, and even the northern part, there are slight difference in the drugs also, very few only. And they are actually being taught as a song only, a folk song only. So those flowers which are said as Pankti means song. So that is why it is also known as Pankti Prasuna. That is, Prasuna means flowers and Pankti means song. So the flowers which are mentioned in song, as song, and based on that we prepare a grida. So this Pankti Prasunadi grida is actually indicated in the ulcers, snakebite ulcers that we come across during snakebite management. So after the initial management, the patient will develop a non-healing ulcer over the area of bite, and it will expand due to the enzymatic activity and due to the formation of the bad quality of the granulation tissue with the coiled capillaries and the growth of plugs on the capillary. This granulation tissue will be continuously being shredded, and the wound will expand. Sometimes even amputation of the leg may be necessary to save the leg. So for that purpose, Pankti Prasunadi Grida is very effective. Similarly, Parantyadi Kera, which is a very markedly available one, and which is very, very effective in non-healing ulcer. Similarly, we have Saptarangyadi Grida, which is also mentioned in Prayoga Samchaya and all. So these are some of the very important formulations that we use. And I would like to consider or mention one important experience that I had when we visited Avanaparam Mahesh Namburipad one time. So in Kottakal, in Kottakal Ayurveda College, the Ayurveda PG started in 2003. So we are the second one after the Nagpur. We are the second college starting the PG in Agadandra. So why Kottakal was selected for PG Agadandra was that the government had a policy that they want to revive the traditional Vishavadya practices that were prevalent in the northern Kerala. So Kottakal was selected. So we had a great responsibility that we had to develop that. So at that time, snakebite management was not there in any of the academies in Kerala or anywhere in India. So we actually went to the traditional Vishavadyas, and the apt person for that was none other than Avanaparam Maheshwaran Namburipad, which the photo, this picture I showed you earlier. So when we went there, few of the faculties and few of the PG scholars, we went there. And the time when we reached his home, he was having a case. Okay? And the case was actually a viper bite. Okay? And the person was lying unconscious, and his body was completely covered with blood. Even his hair follicles were bleeding. And, it is, you will be, actually, when we see it for the first time, all were afraid because completely blood all over the body. And the person was unconscious, and the patient was brought and kept on the front area of his house, and then his treatment hospital, a small house was that. So as soon as the Avanaparama Mahesh Nambaripad came out of their house, and he asked his Parijaraka or his servant he called him and he said to prepare some drug to him. Okay, because we are not, we all were very much frightened that we couldn't even hear what he was actually saying. So suddenly he went into the house and he started preparing the medicine. Okay, so at around maybe 10 or 20 minutes have elapsed. So the patient is still lying, bleeding, covered with blood. And a person came up with a basin with some dough-like thing, some atta-like thing was there. So he was, soon after it came, the Guripad had applied this on the Pradiloma Gadi onto the body of that patient. This entire kalka was applied all over the body. And he went, okay, so we can see that, the blood is being mixed with this particular kalka, which is being applied all over the body. So he, after applying all over the body, he went and he washed his hand and he asked the Parijara to wipe the body. So it was not even 5 minutes had elapsed. Just applied it, he washed his hand and the Parijara came up with a wet cloth and he started wiping it. And what we saw was that, there was no bleeding at all. This is, we were so much astonished to see that. There is not even a single drop of blood coming out of it. And so then we were so much of interested in what he applied over the body. So he said that, there is a prayoga which is mentioned in Prayoga Samachaya that the bark of the shigru is fried and it is being ground and is made into a paste. And whenever a bleeding occurs, they will grind this powder with grida. So the bark of the shigru, dried and fried and powder will mix grinded with the grida and will be applied over the body in Pradiloma Gadi. And soon after that, it will be wiped and the bleeding will be stopped. It's a magical one, because I never had, because I was actually PG in Dravya Guna at the time when I joined at the Agadagandu department. So I didn't have any exposure to any of this treatment and I never consider, we could actually perform it because I have always doubtful about that. But this was the incident that actually opened our eyes. And after this whole procedure, he came to us and said that, if I singly can perform this, you are a group of people of all the teachers and the PG scholars are there in your institution. Why can't you do that? That was the eye-opener. For that, we actually went on and developed our snakebite treatment unit. So even now we are, even though there are not like very huge number of cases are come, but still whatever cases are being reported, we are treating it very effectively. So that is what I want to tell in this time. And moving on with the Vishadha Shobha, two very important one for any type of Shobha, even in Kita Visha or Vrishchika Visha, we are utilizing what is known as Shigru Punarnavadi Leva, Kottam Tagaradi Lega. They are also mentioned in Prayoga Samachaya, very cost effective, and now some of the pharmacies are actually preparing Shigru Punarnavadi Leva for us. So we are utilizing it. Okay. So I thank you one and all for your patient listening. And I thank once again NASYA for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. And if I could build up a little bit of confidence in you, I will consider my talk as very worthwhile. And this is now open to discussion. If anybody wants to ask anything, I can answer it within my knowledge limits. Thank you. And I'm stop sharing.
थैंक यू सो मच सर. अगर किसी का कोई प्रश्न है तो
Thank you, sir. If anyone have any queries or question, please text the question in message box. We have some time for the question or any queries. Please put in the question. message box. There is no any question. So this session was very informative for the purpose of this type of treatment, and we are very privileged to hear you, sir, because I think you and Kerala State is the pioneer in this type of snake bite treatment. So we are very grateful and thankful to you, sir.
Sir, there is one question: how to use Panti Pratuna Adhigrita? It is actually it is actually used as a wound dressing for non-healing ulcers. So we just like applying pichu, we wet the cotton with this grida and we apply it over the wound, and then usually we do not bandage it. You just keep it for some time and then remove it. Okay, sir, please go.
So one question: how to manage post-bite?
How to manage post-bite complications after wiper bite? Usually, if you there is a concept regarding when we treat, when the symptoms are completely relieved, or we say that the acute management was successfully managed, you have to give medicines for a little more time, because we know that venom is actually a mixture of enzymes. So some of these enzymes may remain bound to some other receptors in our body. So they might be mobilized at some stage, and they might come and produce a proteolytic reaction at our bite site, which is the most suited site for the development of a non-healing ulcer. So if that scar begins, it might produce a very, very large ulcer that might lead to the amputation of the particular limb. So what we do is usually whenever the post-bite ulcer cases, or we usually prolong the treatment to a little bit more, so that the post-bite ulcer complication is actually limited to a greater extent. But if it happens, then we go for the pitta visarpa chikitsa, that like pitta gagrida, pitta pradhana dravyas are used for as kashaya, as grida, and even for dhara of that, or sega of the wound. That is a common procedure that we use, pitta visarpa chikitsa. Is there any recent bite cases you handle, sir? Yes, we have a couple of cases in the last year, but none of them had actually caused any complications yet, because it was very, very mild only, and a few of them were all dry bites also. So there is no notable cases that we can say, but few cases we managed. One thing that we have to, I just want to say everyone is that, whether you handle a snake bite case or not, so whenever a case comes and the person seems to be okay with no symptoms, please do not send the patient immediately back. You keep him for observation for some time. This is one important mistake that we all do. Even though we cannot do anything, because by the time the patient moves, walk, and go to his home, he might develop some complications. So even if he is developing that, if he is in a restful stage in our institution, then by the time we can actually provide him some ambulatory assistance so that he could be taken to the hospital at the earliest. If it is a very, we cannot manage it at all, then only. Otherwise, always have a confidence that, it is not, we say that antivenom is the most chosen treatment modality for snake bites. It is, because we are directly targeting the enzymes that are actually circulating in our body by the corresponding antibodies which we will be neutralizing it. Definitely, that is the most advanced treatment that is available for snakebite management. But the one thing that we have to remember is that there are alternative pathways to modulate our immune responses so that we will achieve the same response but little bit slowly by our medicines. Now, definitely before the antivenom therapy, Ayurveda had a very high stats in the society than the modern people. Because, I remember one case, there was a traditional Vishwavaidya who used to practice close to Trivandrum Medical College, Government Medical College. Trivandrum Government Medical College is considered to be the largest hospital in Kerala, and it is regarded as one of the best medical colleges. It is in the government sector in Asia. So in there, earlier times when in casualty any snakebite cases came, they used to refer him to a local Vishwavaidya. This happened before the very popularization of the new generation immunoglobulins that we have today. Before that, after that, the immunoglobulins stored there, but it means that the patients were saved by our medicines, and that medicines act not as a direct neutralization of the venom components, but as a stimulating alternate biochemical pathways, including the immune responses in our body. So definitely there is a role for our medicines, and we have to develop or newer formulations that will not in the sense that newer pharmaceutical preparations of our already existing formulation, so that there is a very effective type of response will be seen in our patients. Okay. Vilvadi Guliga, we know that we give it in as tablets only. Actually it is not mentioned as a tablet. We are making it for as a pharmaceutical preparation. So for the ease of dispensing only, we are using it. Earlier in Vishwavaidyas, when you go there, a Parijaraga will be continuously grinding the Vilvadyagada with Basta Mantra. So whenever a case arises, he will take the medicine from the grinder and or from the halwa, and it will be directly given to the patient. So they are getting a very good response out of it. Okay, next question: how to handle day-to-day life sting bites at home? Okay, it is very easy. Usually we don't have to be, usually what people do is, they will apply haldi, turmeric over the area, because it is not necessary unless it is, the sting is actually being inside that particular skin. Otherwise, if it is not producing only the pain, you can apply a cold sponge or a hot sponging, and then you can manage it with usually Vilvadyagada or any such formulations only. If necessary, only we will go for a local side treatment only. Usually don't go for any strong types of irritants like turmeric and all. Usually go for, usually venom is actually somewhat either acidic or slightly alkaline. So better to go for some buttermilk or some butter. You can apply some butter. That will be more soothing and will not produce any skin harm. Otherwise, I have seen many cases where applying, directly the turmeric powder over the area irritated and produced an abscess. So that should not happen. So it is better go for some milder ones. Usually, the bee stings are usually, or the wasp stings are usually alkaline. So a slightly acidic preparation like the buttermilk or butter will neutralize that alkalinity, so it will be a soothing also. That is why at home you can do that. And you always, keep in stock of a Vilvadyagada in your home, because that is very useful. Even in very severest of the snakebite envenomation, all the traditional Vishwavaidyas unanimously said that Vilvadi is the best one, best drug of choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir,
Thank you.
for your informative and very nice presentation. Actually, I am in a travel, so I am unable to hear all your full presentation. But I was linked with the presentation. Uh, uh, lastly, I asked if anyone have question or queries, please ask.
Sir, I think there is no any more question.
No any question. Dr. Santosh Kumar Vishkarma, sir, you are present here?
Yes, sir, he is over there.
Dr. Santosh, sir. Dr. Santosh, sir? Okay, he's now.
Yeah, Doctor, actually, I'm actually driving, so please continue. I'm
Okay.
actually driving, so please continue.
Okay. Now, this is the time of vote of thanks, and I am very thankful for this type of lecture to Dr. Benin, sir, and many thanks to Dr. Santosh Kumar Vishkarma. He suggested the name of Dr. Vinil sir, and definitely all the listeners and all the new Ayurveda practitioners will gain the confidence among them for this type of treatment, and this type of lecture very much useful for them. So I am very much thankful for all of you, and especially Dr. Binil sir for delivering this type of lecture. On the behalf of NASYA family, again, very thankful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And now we conclude the session. For the permission of you all, and we will meet next month on third Saturday with new topic. Thank you to all.